Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, the Professor, Russ Stevens, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and JP's first son, Tim Hoey, will be joining us in literally seconds. Well, we have another great show for you tonight, so boys, let's get it started. First of all, everybody's healthy and happy? Rusty boy and Joey?
Healthy and happy, yes.
No, okay. Everyone's happy and healthy. I think Tim is stuck out in the boat again.
Yeah, Tim is trying to get on. We may have, I don't know, but Terrell Owens. Did I say it right, Terrell?
Terrell
Owens,
right.
who we've had on the show. You know, but that Mr. accent can come and bite me in the ass sometimes. Terrell Owens may be joining us tonight. I don't know. We'll see. He may be jumping on. He meant to jump on last week, but he missed out. But he's been involved in a number of the BML marches in the last week, so we'll have to ask him about that if he does come on. All right, boys, we talked sports and the NFL. Roger Goodell, who's not a friend of the New England area, would we agree with that?
Yeah, wouldn't win any popularity contests around here.
Yeah, so of course, they have not been good to the Colin Kaepernicks of the world, the guys who tried to protest during the national anthem, or however they have. But he kind of backtracked big time this week, didn't he, Rusty Boy? He, all of a sudden, without naming Colin Kaepernick, saying that Black Lives Matter, and finally coming to the modern time.
Yeah, look, I think the world's changed in the last few weeks, and you've got a lot of individuals who were hesitant to speak out about stuff. Michael Jordan, sort of famously, and you have a lot of institutions and brands who are now saying we can no longer ignore this and hope it goes away. We've got to take a stand because more and more people are expecting them to take a stand.
And I think Goodell has really made the point that he's not going to let Trump bully them into a position this time, like they were last time.
Yeah.
I'm just checking in. You guys can hear me, right?
Yes, we can.
Welcome to the show, JP's first son, Tim Hoey. Timmy, we're talking about Roger Goodell. Joe, Colin Kaepernick hasn't been in the league in 4 years. When he did play last, he lost 11 straight games. Is this a guy that could come back to the NFL, or is his time past?
Not now. 3 years ago, he could have, yes. But then he was being blackballed. I mean, it was obvious. There were a lot of people with the need at quarterback back then. Now it's not so outrageous, but back then there was a lot of teams that were in dire straits, and he would have filled the bill.
These owners make their decisions based on their pocketbook,
Yeah.
And the morality of things has very little to do with what they actually do. It's the bottom line for these guys. And, if the kneeling thing, I think it's going to, it won't have the effect it used to have with America right now. I think, like Russell mentioned earlier, I think in the last, month, things have changed dramatically on that whole view of things.
Yeah.
Well, look, I hope they allow players to kneel if they want to, but what I don't want them to do is to take away the national anthem from sports events. And that's where I feel like that knee-jerk reaction could happen, and that would be outrageous.
Yeah, sort of hard to imagine they'll do that. I agree with Tim very much about the bottom line. And as far as Kaepernick goes, the thing about it is a few years ago, there was a dearth of quarterbacks in the NFL. You had a hard time finding 32 starters. You have a situation now because so many young quarterbacks have come into the league. You've got Cam Newton sitting on the sidelines, right? You've got starting Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's a replacement level quarterback in the NFL. He's not below average. He's not above average. He's average. He's a backup quarterback in Dallas.
Yeah.
It's hard to find a spot for these guys.
Jameis Winston, another one down in New Orleans.
Yeah. Great segue to, if the Patriots aren't tanking, then why? And if they are trying to be competitive this season, and we'll agree that they have a competitive defense, then why in the hell are they not trying to sign either Newton or Winston?
Well, Winston's already signed in New Orleans, and
right. Sorry, right.
Yeah,
right. My mistake. Yeah.
Look, I think it's a delicate balance. I think they want to give the kid a shot. And they may just have concerns that Newton's not the kind of guy that you have on the sidelines while you're trying to give a second-year quarterback a shot, right?
And they don't have the money right now either.
And they don't have the money
to be picking up. I mean, Cam is going to at least ask for $10 million.
Right.
And they don't have that kind of money.
You know, like it or not, the quarterback is the face and picture of your franchise. And is Cam Newton the guy the Patriots want to be the face of the franchise?
Look, I like Cam Newton, and I think that he's going to, no matter what contract the Patriots were to give him, would be a make-do contract. And we know how those guys react when they're looking for their next big deal. If you're trying to compete, you'd get the most out of Cam Newton. Newton is a quarterback that's been in the Super Bowl.
It's a legitimate argument. And by the way, I wouldn't rule it out completely that they do sign him, or that at least be in the mix if he comes, back once they can start to get in person with guys. He shows he's healthy, and they do something with Tooney's contract. Joe, wouldn't it be as simple as you re-sign Tooney or trade him, or you re-sign him, kick it down the road, and you've opened up probably $10 million?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you there, Russ, but I can't see bringing in Cam Newton because then Cam's going to want to start. And so you got to tell Stidham and Hoyer, sit down, because if it's a make or break contract, it's going to be have all sorts of, you got to play 16 games. If Cam doesn't get his 16 games, he's going to be kicking.
Right. What are you kidding me? Really? That's going to be such a big deal to tell Brian Hoyer, who shouldn't even be in the NFL, and Jared Stidham that they've got to sit down?
Well,
but you're telling the rest of the locker room too, Scotty.
Yeah.
Guys that are friends.
To be in the NFL. Neither of them have done anything to think that they.
Well, your boy Jimmy. By the way, your boy Jimmy G didn't do anything until he got his shot in the third year and played a couple of games before he got hurt, which is what he normally does. So
at the very least, I don't know the pecking order. Jimmy G was a second-round pick, and Stidham was a fourth-round pick. But we know the hierarchy. That's very important in the NFL, Russ. You absolutely know that's true.
I don't understand why you were so pro Jimmy G but so anti Stidham when, frankly, their freshman year, their freshman years were essentially the same.
I'll tell you why. Jimmy G's much better looking.
Much better. That's exactly.
Adrian likes Jimmy G.
I was playing straight for you,
Jimmy G. Guys, did you watch the Super Bowl last year? Who do you think was in it? Who was one pass away from being the MVP and winning the Super Bowl?
Scotty, let's face it. Stidham's a 7 and Jimmy G's an 11.
That's right.
To you, maybe, Timmy. Come on, guys. I don't understand this whole hype about.
Hey, do we believe in Bill Belichick's assessment of talent and who's doing? There's a good possibility that he sees something in this kid and thinks he might have something.
Yeah, here's what I believe in. I believe in Bill Belichick's ability to choose a quarterback. History has shown that he's made good quarterback choices, right? So
one quarterback. He chose
Jimmy G.
Jimmy G. Okay.
How many quarterbacks in the NFL were starting that had Patriots pedigree last year?
Yeah,
Jacoby
Brissett, right?
Jimmy G, obviously Tom Brady. No, I understand.
So that's not his problem. Wide receivers are a big problem.
Yeah,
quarterbacks are a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
We would be ripping the Red Sox right now if they were depending on their number one starting pitcher right now to be Stidham. Would you agree?
Yeah, we would be ripping the Red Sox left, right, and in between. Because if you stop and look at that roster, there has, at the 22 positions, there probably hasn't been an upgrade other than maybe tight ends. In 22 positions, no upgrades, either stay the same or downgrade a little.
So here's the question for you, Scotty. Everyone, what do you want out of next year for the Patriots? Do you want a Super Bowl? Do you expect a Super Bowl? Or what do you
0-16. I literally want them not to win a game.
Okay, so you don't want them to win a game. Does anyone want them to expect or want them to win a Super Bowl?
Me. Right. I want them to.
Here's what I want. I want them to come out of next year with the quarterback of the future one way or another. That's what I want. A year from now, I want them to be sitting here saying, Jared Stidham is the quarterback of the future. you, Scotty or Timmy, get your wish where they tank and get Trevor Lawrence, right? I just want the quarterback of the future.
Okay, I'll agree with you.
But also, you're the voice of reason,
right? Like,
I'll like someone else.
I have said that for years.
Sacrifice a shot.
Excuse me, Timmy, I can't hear you. We have a bad connection. Tim,
am I loud enough to hear on the West Coast?
I will gladly sacrifice.
The season is going to be tainted. The season is tainted anyways.
Does Belichick have it in him to tank? I mean, everything's pointing to a tank, right? I mean, it's all pointing towards a tank.
I actually don't agree.
No,
I think if they were gonna tank, then Tooney's the guy. I've been saying this for weeks. If they're gonna tank, they're gonna get rid of Tooney. Why would you hold Tooney if you were gonna tank?
Tooney's making $14.781 million.
Get rid of him.
But also, Devin McCourty, re-signing Devin McCourty I thought was a strange move.
Keeping Hightower.
He makes more than $11 million a year than Julian Edelman does.
That's right.
That is hard to believe.
Those four guys. Yeah.
All right, boys. We go to the Red Sox, so we go to Major League Baseball. First of all, let's just talk about baseball before we talk about the season. I had a nice talk with a young man who's a big into sports, and he says one thing that he hates about baseball is they don't let the players celebrate on the field. The moment a guy hits a home run, if he takes a half a step staring at it, next thing you know, he's getting drilled in the face the next time he's up. He says the young people want to see celebrations. They want to be able to turn on their phone, and 5 minutes after Mookie Betts hit a walk-off, they want to be able to watch it on their phone and seeing a lot of people celebrate. And you don't see that in Major League Baseball. Are they completely out of tune with the younger generation?
Can we give the young people everything they want? I mean, I don't enjoy that. I like seeing a classic. I like to see a guy act like he's done it before.
God, come on.
No, that's me. That's me.
That's fine.
But we all love seeing Brock spike the ball.
Yeah. Well, I like that. There's a line for me of like self-adulation. I don't appreciate people that self-promote. If their teammates want to come over and celebrate with them, I'm great for that. As I was brought up saying, act like you've been there before.
Yeah, no, but baseball.
Hang on. There's only one sport that's the case for, if you're not including golf or tennis. Like hockey, you know, the guy Jake DeBrusk scores a goal and he's plastered himself to the boards.
I'm a little bit new though, Russell. It used to be celebrate with your teammates in hockey. Now I don't like those guys that go over and do their own self-celebration and skate away from their teammates. I think you want to celebrate with your teammates, go to town. When you make it the me show, that just hits me the wrong way. So when I see a hockey player ignore his teammates and go over to the glass, I don't dig that.
No, but Timmy, to me, I have to be honest with you. My perception is that he's trying to share the goal with the fans.
Well, I don't know. I was brought up you celebrate with your teammates.
No, but there's time to do that. I mean, if he's celebrating with the fans, I got no problem, guys.
Yeah, Scotty's right. It revs up the home fans. Yeah, everyone gets crazy. Absolutely. They're throwing the hats and the shots and everything on the ice.
Yeah, we want to see more emotion. We want to see more personality with these players. That's what people want to see. And you don't see it at all in baseball. And some of those rules that you like, Timmy, they're back 100 years ago. We don't even know sometimes why these guys are getting drilled, right?
I know there is all these unwritten rules in baseball.
Yeah. Look, my biggest issue with baseball, they are lighting themselves on fire. They have doused themselves with gasoline.
Also, they were hanging on by a thread with me to begin with these 4.5-hour games, and they're like not self-aware. They have zero self-awareness as far as I'm concerned. Totally. So we're going to clue them into the reality that they're not the hot ticket in town anymore.
No.
Yeah, so there's this controversy now whether, look, we're talking June 10th right now. It looks like they couldn't even amp up the season if they wanted to, but they're mentioning 48 or 76 games, and it's just a negotiation. But before I even talk about the 48 and 78 games, DeWitt, a management guy out of St. Louis yesterday, an ownership group, said that, baseball, we don't really make any money. Oh, for God's sake.
Oh.
Then what are you doing?
What's that big house in Brookline over by?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
That big boat down in Boston Harbor. He's making
you could cook any book to show that you're operating revenue.
Oh, yeah.
You're not making it, right?
Yeah.
But the Red Sox can, and until you include NESN, right? But what it doesn't account for is franchise value, right? How many multiples of these franchise, prices that they paid are these franchises worth now?
And the real estate that surrounds Fenway Park or any of these other parks, right? I mean, I'd love to see whose name is on the deed to half of those high rises going up around Kenmore Square.
Yep.
Timmy, you and I, after games, have gone in the car and driven up to my house and figured out right there how much the Red Sox were making.
Pulled the calculator out
and
and done it, and
it was like $500 million.
It's all like those franchises, even down in Florida, with one person per section, they're still making money. With the details, every sign that goes up there, they're getting tens, hundreds of $1,000s in the stadium, and every hat that's sold, and every shirt that's sold, and everything, they're all tied into.
These guys are sitting on a gold mine. Even without COVID, the only thing that really has retained value on TV is live sports, because it's the thing that you really can't DVR. It's that these media prices, media rights have gone up and up and up. So normally speaking, they're sitting on a gold mine, and then you throw in the fact that they could have been the first professional sport back on the field.
But it comes down to the thing that the owners don't want to play any games. They want to go straight to the playoffs. And the players don't get paid when they do that. They want to play games, and the more games, the merrier for them. But the owners don't want to pay any games. So they're never going to meet in the middle.
Nope.
And a 48 or 76 game season is so far away from the normal of 162 games.
But the owners don't want to play even that.
You know what I'd love to get behind the books on and see, even before the COVID started, baseball's decline. Like, I'd love to see how the Red Sox did on their season tickets this year.
Well, we talked about it. I'm pretty sure.
Say 20% down?
Was it 20% down?
Oh, we know that's how the Red Sox say it. So at least double it. For sure, it was, and I know I have a lot of inside information on the ticket people. They always say they lie like crazy. Double it; it's got to be 40%. Next year, it'll probably be 70%. People got screwed. They still haven't gotten refunds for any games outside of April and May. There's still people are still waiting for checks on that. Total. All right, but look, you talk 48, you talk 76 games. It may not happen, but are we ever going to see a 162 game season again with a Major League Baseball?
Well, if they come back, the question isn't are we going to see it? It's how many people are going to watch it. I mean, I think it'll come back, but I just think it'll be irrelevant if they miss a year.
Yeah.
Well, but we all say that if the Red Sox get red hot, we're watching.
Yeah, but we're a baseball town, a big baseball town. Well, we're in the few left. It's kind of like hockey. But Russ makes a great point. Will the country be watching? Doubtful. All right, boys, we go to the NHL. It was nice to see today a picture of Patrice and Brad practicing. So hockey is ready to get at it. So training camp is going to come very soon. They have to go back into training camp. And they're going to be getting into the season. What are you guys looking for?
Well, I'm depressed that I can't go into the Garden and watch the game. That's hit me kind of hard.
I bet.
Yeah.
I mean, try sneaking over to Brighton there and see if we can get in.
I mean, isn't this thing, Timmy? Isn't this thing going to be who gets hot? Like, isn't it going to be which goalie gets hot and into a groove?
Goalies in the playoff rush are 80% of the equation.
Yeah.
I mean,
you might need two goalies. One goalie hot might not be enough. There'll be a lot of games in a very short period of time. They can't have 2-3 days off between games here. So it'll be every other. So I think one goalie hot won't be enough for you.
Yeah,
you need at least one hot goalie and one semi-hot goalie.
Well, the fact that Halak, is top-notch. Maybe, I don't know, one of the top 2 or 3 backup goalies in the league. And, you know my feelings.
Yeah.
We don't have
Come on, anytime.
I think Halak is an excellent goalie. And that,
for God.
Tim, watching a lot of those. I was watching a lot of those.
On the television here, Scott.
Watching a lot of those old Bruins series, and I realized in like 70 and 72, the Bruins were alternating goalies. So you'd see one game and Cheevers was at the net, and then Johnston was at the net the next game. And it looked like maybe Cheevers played 5 out of 7 or, about 3/4 of the games, but he didn't play all of them.
But Cheevers play the big ones, though.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, but Johnson played well. But in Stanley Cup Finals games, Eddie Johnson was playing goal sometimes.
Yeah.
So
they were up 3-1 to the Canadians, and they put Eddie Johnson in the goal, and that was their downfall.
But when you turned the game on, you were always hoping it was Cheevers.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
If Eddie Giacomin was still alive, Timmy wanted him to go over.
Right. We hated him. He was Rangers.
But the fact is that also that Cassie's going to have a shorter leash with Tuukka, I would imagine, because obviously when they start to play, it's for real. And if it looks like he's out of shape or just doesn't have the timing right now, it's shorter leash than normal, right?
With Tuukka, a lot of it seems to be between the ears on how he's doing. I think he's sometimes he maybe thinks himself into a bad space, but he had a great playoff last year. Tremendous. I'm not going to take it away from him. Hey, when he's hot, man, I'll say it. And he had a great playoff last year. I hope he has another one.
Well, the guys, look, none of these guys will have to be traveling. I assume they're all going to be playing what it looks like in the same city, all the games. So I think that'll help as far as being able to turn over the games in a quicker period of time. But playing in the heat of summer, good luck, guys, keeping those arenas cool in July and August, right?
Well, they do have air conditioning.
I know.
Yeah, it'll be a modern arena they're playing in.
I know.
Not the Garden.
No, right. No, but we still seen, even at the Garden at times, you get these hot days, the ice is sweating a lot.
The foggy boards and that little fog hanging over the ice there.
Yeah, right. All right, boys. So go to the NBA. First of all, we got to hand it to Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, who's had a breakout season this year, and has turned out to be a fantastic draft pick. Great job, Danny Ainge. Really politically involved. Wow, it's just nice to see an athlete so young and get it so quickly and such an all-around on and off the court excelling. It's just good to see, especially in Boston.
Yeah. I know somebody who knows him quite well. It says he's as authentically good a person as he seems.
And he's signed, sealed, and delivered for a few more years, too.
Yep.
That was a good contract that the Ainge got him, too. Now they can still afford to pay a couple of max contracts, especially after Grandpa Gordon shuffles off.
We got to give Danny credit for doing his homework. He waited on Tatum, and he picked the right guy in Brown. Mm. He made the other people look like a little egg on their face of the people picking before him on these.
Yep.
With LeBron getting very, very old, would you say that the Celtics have the best future of all 4 teams?
Oh, well, there's a kid named Giannis out there.
No, that's true. But, LeBron,
Anthony Davis there.
No, obviously Leonard and stuff, but LeBron is still the king.
Yeah.
Yeah, until someone takes it away from LeBron, he's still the man.
Scott, it's a great question because you'd say, well, the Bruins are, but the problem is the Bruins core is aging while the Celtics core is, still emerging.
Reaching their prime.
Yeah, and the Patriots don't have a starting quarterback right now. So I guess I'd go with, over the next year or two, I'd go with the Bruins just because I think it's just going to be really hard for the Celtics to break through until they're just going to take another couple of reps.
But Russ, we hear about the Bruins' young core and stuff. I'm still not seeing it.
The Celtics young core?
The minor league guys, the guys who are ready to come.
The Bruins core is aging.
No, but I'm saying when we talk about the young core,
it's not there yet.
A lot of young studs in the minor leagues, and where are they?
Yeah, they're role players right now. They'll be the core 2 or 3 years from now.
Maybe.
Name some names. Name some names of Bruins who are potential stars. Not McAvoy. Name some young players who are currently not up.
Hello, DeBrusque.
Yeah. Pasternak's 21.
No, I know.
Pasternak might be the MVP at the end of this year.
But you know what I'm talking about. The
I think,
blood.
Yeah, look, I think Bjork has a chance.
Carlo. How about Carlo on defense? He's 21 years old. He's a freaking. He's got such a gigantic upside. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay.
And who's the other defenseman there? The kid from Charlestown. He's doing great. Grishlick.
Grizzlick.
Yeah. He's doing great. Oh, they're young. They're there, man. I mean, Bergeron, he's getting a little long in the tooth. And Chara, you take those two out of the mix. This is not an old team, Scott.
But this is a team that can compete for a cup if they were to lose Bergeron and Chara.
Oh, absolutely.
You think there's enough scoring other than Marchand and
absolutely? Yeah.
I don't know. I have some doubts there. Bergeron would be because Krejci's kind of he's on the 16th hole.
Yeah, they need another sentiment for sure.
And Bergeron is probably on the 14th hole.
Coyle's doing good though.
What's that?
Charlie Coyle's doing great.
Yeah, no. He's
but isn't he a free agent?
No. They signed.
He signed. Yeah, he signed.
But I don't know. I think the Bruins window here, they've got a 2 or 3 year window, and then they're going to have to get these young guys up to superstar level. Whereas I think the Celtics probably have another couple years before they're in it for about 3 years.
Yeah, I would say with the 2 or 3 year window's pretty close. That's a nice window, though. It's not a bad window.
That? Nothing to
so at the very least, we can agree that the Patriots are in some level rebuild mode.
Well, you know what the Bruins need? They need 2 super tough, kick-ass guys. They need a big, tough defenseman, and they need a big, tough forward. Who go out there, and when Chara's gone, you're not going to have your big brother sitting over there on the bench, as the ultimate threat. I think the NHL seemed to be going away from that, but then the Blues brought it back last year, and they got away with it. So I'm a little confused on which way the NHL is going right now with that whole thuggery thing, which I like, to tell you the truth. But they seem.
Can we assume that Kevin Miller is no longer going to play NHL hockey again?
Who knows? I mean, God, what's it been, 2 years now?
You break your kneecap multiple times. I don't know. It doesn't sound like you're coming back from that.
But he was a tough guy. He would fit that one guy that
he wasn't to scare your life out of you kind of guy, though. You know what I mean? Who was the kid that we lost there who would fight anybody, the defenseman?
Sean Thornton was the last.
When talking about the future, the max contract is going to have to be given to Jason Tatum. The 100%. Celtics said in the last week or so that most likely they're going to offer that, which of course that means they are going to offer that. Yeah. It'll be nice for Celtics fans to breathe a deep sigh of relief to know that Tatum's on the team forever, I think.
Yeah, probably another 5 years. If you sign him to a max contract, if you max him out, it's a 5-year contract.
Now, things worked out perfect for Jason Tatum. He was absolutely playing lights out when this whole thing hit. And it ended. He ended like he was like a meteoric rise that was happening right when this thing hit. But Joe, you wonder if he could have sustained that,
But Joe, it's nice to see a kid year 3 make all the adjustments he had to do and put in all the hard work to get to the next level like he did.
Yeah, especially after he showed up the second year doing not as well. And I think he learned from his mistake there between the first and second year and came back this year with a renewed sense of who he wants to be in the league and a renewed sense of his game.
When he came back this year, he had shoulders. He never had shoulders before. This year he had shoulders.
Well, that just shows me, Russ, that, he's serious. I mean, look, he gained probably 15, 20 pounds. What we always talk about, these guys filling out, and Jason Tatum did exactly what we always want.
Yeah, I was look, sometimes player development for really young guys, because he was drafted at 18, is not linear. It looks like this, and then it goes down, and then it goes up again. And, that's what happened. Brown has gotten a little bit better every year, but Jason had a little bit of a dip in year 2. That's all.
And now he's a big star.
He sure is. Yeah.
Is he top 10?
He does it all. Both ends of the court and interior and exterior game.
I think he's a top 20 player in the NBA.
All right, so you don't think top 10?
No, not yet.
No, not yet.
Joe, top 10?
Not yet. Maybe in a year or two.
Timmy, you got him in the top 10? Or you?
No, not quite yet, but he's certainly had there. When you really take start looking through the names. There's some big names out there that he'd have to crack to get to that, you know.
And that's where basketball beats the other sports. We can name the big names. We have done such a great job in marketing. We actually know of McCollum's in Portland. You know what I mean? And you don't know.
Like we used to know the NHL.
Lillard's the man there.
That's how I knew when I was a kid. That's how I knew the NHL. I knew the third line center for the Maple Leafs back then.
Yeah, but agreed that the NBA has done the best of marketing all these things.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
I think the NFL has done the best with the fantasy football. People who don't even know how to play the game know all the styles in football.
But now the NBA offseason outdoes the Major League Baseball in season.
I know.
You're right, Tim.
No, you're right. No,
my kids are talking NBA all summer. You know.
Sure, and Kyrie Irving's involved in almost every trade the last 3 years, and somehow. All right, well, that's our show for tonight, boys. Want to thank, of course, the boys, everyone behind the scenes. Corbin, please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com, and tune in again next Wednesday night at 6:30 for another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night.